Hey everybody, how's it going? Marc here. This is the first time that I've done one of these live streams in a while. The first time was for when I did a review for Amazing Spider-Man, not Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming. um, and so today I originally was gonna go see Black Panther for a third time. Well, it would have been the third time that I would have seen it. Um, and by the way, I don't think I'm going to be making a review for that because, well, what can I say about that movie that hasn't been said already? I mean, it's great. It's great. It really is. Um, so I thought about seeing uh, that, but I'm like, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. So instead, I was thinking about seeing The Shape of Water because I haven't seen that one yet, and I'm a huge fan of the guy who made it, Guillermo del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors, and of course, it's getting all this Oscar attention. So I really wanted to see that, but my my showing for that had already I was late for that, so I couldn't do that one. So I thought to myself, well, what else is out? And I saw this a poster for a movie called Every Day, and I think I saw a trailer for it once. I don't exactly remember if I did or not. So yeah, I decided to watch that. I have Movie Pass, so I'm like, it's not gonna cost me anything. And for the life of me, my excuse me, doing it live, folks. Just trying to straighten out my bed. There, better. Sorry, I just kept looking at the bottom right corner of my screen, and that was annoying me. So anyway, I saw the movie Every Day. Let's see, it was at 1:45. Ticket there, it's reflected, but whatever. Um, so I watched it, and oh god, where do I even begin? uh, so I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. This is gonna be kind of hard for me to describe, to kind of like summarize. So basically, there's this young girl who's in a relationship with this guy who doesn't really pay that much attention to her. And then one day, the guy wakes up acting completely different than he usually would. He takes her out on a nice date. They go out to an aquarium and to the beach, and it seems really nice and all. And then the next day, the guy has no recollection of what happened. He doesn't remember anything that happened that day or treating her that way. And the main girl, I forgot what was her name, Rianne, I think. The main girl, Rianne, she meets this new girl at school who sounds and acts the way that her boyfriend did the day before that. And she finds that to be really strange. And then the next day at a party, Rianne meets this guy who acts the same way that her boyfriend did that day as well. Um, and and then the next day, Rianne meets this girl at a coffee shop, who explains to her that the girl that she meets at the coffee shop, that she is the same person technically that she met at the party, and the same girl that she saw at at school, and the same person that her boyfriend was acting like on their date. Basically telling her that every day this being who calls itself um, goes from body to body every day. So every day A wakes up in a different body, whether it's male or female, and romantic stuff ensues. And okay, seriously, this is really hard to describe because this movie is like way too overtly complicated for me. I mean, just from what I could tell, it was basically just like a rip off of movies like Fault in Our Stars and Twilight. Like, it's basically cashing in on this trend of young adult teen romance novels turned into movies, but the story relies on a gimmick. Like, for example, with Fault in Our Stars, a girl with cancer falls in love with guy with cancer. And there's this other movie that came out, I think in 2017, I think. This movie called Everything Everything. It's about this girl who has this genetic disorder that makes her not able to go outside, and she falls in love with her neighbor, who looks so attractive that he just like walked out. It looks like he just came off of an American Eagle ad. And I think there's this other movie that's coming out this year that is also very similar to this, where I think it's Bella Thorne. She plays this girl who's allergic to sunlight, and she meets a guy who isn't, and they only meet up with each other at night. And like, is anyone else getting sick of these kinds of movies? And look, I'm not saying, like, I liked Fault in Our Stars, but every other movie like that since then, it's just, they're all the same. I mean, look, these movies, I'm not the target audience for this sort of thing. I'm not the kind of guy who would enjoy this kind of story. So I only saw this because nothing else was playing at the time. So yeah, and it's basically like 97 minutes that I'm never getting back. I didn't like it. I really did not like this movie. Like the idea for it is so silly, and like the more that you think about it, the more that you try to make it sound logical, the more that it just makes no sense at all. Like, the more that you think about it, the more it's like the premise for it is so paper thin that you could just poke holes through it so many times to the point where it just does not work. Like, okay, so this being A wakes up in a new body every day. Like, they don't really explain how or why, so it's like you're just kind of left in the dark for this, and it feels so weird, like, because like the idea for it is kind of scary when you think about it, because the whole thing with this, this being going from body to body every day is that, the body that A was in the previous day does not remember anything that happened when A took over. So, the next day, let's say, I got, tomorrow A takes over my body, on Sunday or the day after that, I wake up not remembering anything that went on. So, the idea of someone taking over your body for a day and then you waking up the next day not remembering anything at all it's kind of scary. Like, this is like a horror movie premise. It really is, but it's used for like a teen romance drama, and it's so weird. Excuse me. It's so weird. Like, like every day it's a different person, and so it just kind of makes it feel hard to really, like, root for the girl and this being A who goes from body to body every day. And then and I'm kind of going into spoiler territory, and I don't know if anybody's really looking forward to this. I don't care. Spoilers. A wakes up in the body of this girl who unfortunately is going through depression and has actually cut herself a couple times in the past, as you can tell, like when she wakes up in this body and you see scars on her arm. She wakes up in the body of this girl who's depressed, and she wants this girl to get help, but she won't be able to get help until the next day. So what she does is she stays in that body for another day. Which, again, it's like, okay, you can so like because they established that A can't stay in the same body for more than a day, and yet for that she does. And then later on in the movie, A stays in this one body of a guy for more than one day, and that's even like the idea of that is even kind of scarier when you think about it. Um, and it's like, okay, you're just breaking your own logic. It's like you established that, you can only stay in one person's body for one day, and then, the next day it's somebody else. You can't just, have it be. You can't just be in one person for just more than a day. Like they broke its. This movie breaks its own rules. It's like, at this point, does it really fucking matter anymore? It's like, this movie is just so stupid. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Like the more that you think about it, the more that you try to put logical sense to this, the more that it doesn't add up. It's just I don't know what to tell you, except this is not a terrible movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but like, it's kind of interesting how bad this thing is. And I mean, I won't say like the acting from like the main girl, who was actually in that movie, The Nice Guys. Sorry, lost the connection there. But as I was saying, like the main girl who was actually in that movie, The Nice Guys, she was Ryan Gosling's daughter and was great in that movie. She's the main girl in this movie, and she's fine, I guess. I mean, she does okay given the crappy script that she was given. Half the people that is in this movie, a lot of them just feel kind of wooden and just kind of, not all that interesting. Like the only two, or yeah, the only like, I'd say the only people that are A in this movie, that are actually interesting is the girl that I already mentioned that unfortunately has self-harmed herself. This other guy who is actually the same guy who was Ned, Peter Parker's friend in Spider-Man Homecoming, and he was good. And then there was this one guy who that A ends up in that that the main character Rianne ends up like sleeping with, and like the guy has to like fly to Honolulu with his parents, and like they chase after him because he wants to spend time with her. Like, and then he was good, and I guess like the last person that A ends up in, I thought that guy was okay. But everybody else was just kind of meh, I guess. Like the acting was fine, the writing was god awful. Like none of it really made any sense. The characters barely had any personality to them. It's typical teen romance stuff. Again, it's not my thing. This kind of movie is not what I usually watch. Not to go against romance movies. I like romance movies are fine every now and again. I love Casablanca. That's easily the greatest romance movie ever made. But this again, it's not a bad movie, but it's not good either. It's not good. I really don't know what else to say, everybody. I really don't. This movie is just, it's bad, but in a way that's kind of fascinating. Like you don't really know it. Like I wouldn't recommend seeing it, like going out to the theater to see it. I would say wait until like if it goes on like Hulu or Netflix or if it's like on Redbox, then see it, because it's not the kind of movie that you should just go rushing out to the theater to see. Like I kept thinking throughout the whole thing, is this based on a book? And then sure enough, as the end credits started rolling, it says, based on a novel by, And like, that makes sense because I'm sure maybe the book is better. I don't know. I've never read the book. So maybe it's better as a book than it is as a movie. But yeah, this was bad. This was really bad. And the whole time watching it, I'm just like, I could be watching Black Panther again right now. I could be watching Shape of Water. I could be doing literally anything with my time right now, but no, I'm watching this. I'm watching this movie. Oh God. Um, so yeah, those are my thoughts on Every Day. It stunk. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but like I said, it's about an hour and a half that I'm never getting back. So yeah, I mean, if anybody watching this has ever read the book and are fans of it, let me know if you think it's any better, if this book is as good as the book, if this movie is as good as the book, in the comments down below. And as always, if you like what you saw here, feel free to click that thumbs up button, share this video with your friends, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe if you want, and hit the little notification button down at the bottom. That way you'll know when my next video is going to be. And yeah, don't worry, part 2 of Escape from Tomorrow is being worked on. I had to rework it because of YouTube's stupid copyright system. My next video is going to be a channel update video where I'm going to give you guys a heads up on what you can expect from me in the weeks and months to come. And in that video, I'm going to be letting you guys in on something that I've been thinking about doing for almost 2 months now. It's actually really important to me, so hopefully you guys check that out. And until next time, my name is Marc Aquino. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.